Hey guys, it's Jay here from TheraArts again, and I'm bringing you three more therapeutic stories. Hope you enjoy them. The first one is called The Boy Who Had to Catch a Dragon. Once there was a prince who did all the things that princes do. He went to school, played with his friends, and did all the general princely duties. One day his parents, the king and queen, came to him and said, "It is time for you to catch a dragon." "No way," the prince cried. "I can't catch a dragon. I'm too young to catch a dragon. I'm too weak to catch a dragon." But the king and the queen were not moved. They continued to insist. "You must catch a dragon. It is time for you to catch a dragon." The prince tried everything he could think of to get them to change their minds. He begged, he pleaded, he cried, he threw temper tantrums. He even stopped talking to them. He tried doing all of his chores the best way that he could, but the king and queen insisted, "You must catch a dragon." The young prince became very, very depressed because he really didn't know how to catch a dragon. He got sadder and sadder and began to spend more time in his room. One day when he was lying across his bed alone in his room, his fairy godmother appeared to him. "Why are you all by yourself up here?" she asked. "I have to catch a dragon, and I don't know how to do it," replied the prince. "I'm not powerful or smart enough. I guess I'll just stay here on this bed forever because I don't know what to do." "Well, you're lucky that you have me to watch over you," the fairy godmother replied, and waved her magic wand and spread magic dust all over the prince. "What are you doing?" asked the prince, wondering if he should be afraid. "This dust is magic. It will help you gain the wisdom and power every night when you sleep, until the day will come when you will wake up and know that you are smart enough and strong enough to catch that dragon." Then with a puff of smoke she disappeared. The little prince wasn't sure he believed his visitor, but that night when he went to sleep he did gain more power and more wisdom. And in the morning whenever he woke up, he did feel stronger and smarter. Every night when he slept, he became more powerful and more wise, until one morning he woke up and he knew that he was wise enough and powerful enough to catch a dragon. He understood it was, indeed, time for him to catch a dragon, just as his parents had told him. With a whisper of thanks to his fairy godmother for her help, the prince left the palace and caught a dragon that very day. He put the dragon in the zoo, and the zoo officials put a special sign under the cage which told everyone that this dragon had been caught by the prince and the date that he caught it. Everybody in the kingdom was proud that the prince had finally figured out how to catch a dragon, and the prince was happy to discover that he was smart enough and powerful enough to catch dragons just as well as anyone. I'm sure if you've heard of that movie that's based kind of on this story, loosely, I guess. This next story is a short one, and it's an adaptation of a well-known metaphor. It's called The Little Pony and the Stones. Once upon a time there was a little pony who lived with its mother in a very large meadow. There were lots of big horses in the field, but there were no other ponies, so all day the little pony played and ran with its mother. The pony liked her mother very much. However, she was very lonely and sad because there were no young ponies around to play with. Every pony needs friends the same age, and this pony knew that she was missing something in her life. One day when she was feeling particularly sad, the little pony lay down beneath a tree and began to dream. In the dream she came upon a creek, and as she looked on the other side of it, she saw lots of young ponies running and playing and laughing and having such a wonderful time. They were just her age, and she wanted very much to join them. They called for her to come and play with them, but she didn't understand how to get across the creek. She didn't know if she would ever be able to play with the other ponies. She kept looking at the creek, and she noticed something in the water. Just beneath the surface there were stones that went across. 1, 2, 3, 4. Suddenly she had an idea. She began to cross the water, putting her feet on each stone, taking one step at a time until she reached the other side. She had the best of best time of her life playing with all the ponies, jumping and running along the hills. At the end of the day, she returned to the creek and 1, 2, 3, 4. She stepped right across. Suddenly the dream ended, and the pony woke up to find herself resting beside her mother. She looked around, and as she did, she noticed that across the creek there were little ponies that were playing. And for the last one, and I think probably the last in this series, this is 7 videos with therapeutic stories from this book, so is called The Girl and the Tornado. There lived a girl who had a tornado inside of her. Now this was a very difficult thing for her to handle because tornadoes have much power and they whirl and whirl around. The tornadoes kept the girl tied up in knots and made her constantly upset, whirling and whirling and whirling inside her. She was afraid to deal with the tornado, and so she tried very hard on the outside to seem calm and to look as if she had no worries at all. Many people were not fooled and noticed that she had a problem. When they asked her if she needed help, she would reply, no. She really didn't want anyone to know that she had that tornado inside of her. She was scared. Tornadoes, though, can't stay completely hidden for very long. They gain more and more power just as they whirl around, and the more you try to hide them, the bigger they get. So the tornado within the girl got bigger and bigger and bothered her more and more until finally she realized that she couldn't stand it any longer. She decided that she had to find someone to help her with the tornado. If she didn't, she felt like it might just tear her apart. Now in her town there was a very wise old man who had learned all about tornadoes whenever he lived in Kansas. So the girl went to him and asked the man if they could talk in private. He agreed and asked the girl to be seated. The girl had trouble sitting down because the tornado inside her made her move around all the time like she was being chased by a bee. The old man asked the girl, "What's wrong? Why have you come to talk to me? Why can't you sit down?" "Well, I guess I have to tell somebody," said the girl. "I've got a tornado inside of me, and I really need some help with it." "Oh, many people are bothered by tornadoes," replied the man. The girl said in surprise, "They are? I've never heard of anybody else having one." The man smiled and said, "That's because most people won't tell you when they have a tornado inside them. They're scared. I've got a special way to draw it out, though, and then it won't bother you anymore." And with that, he whispered some words into the girl's ear, and suddenly the tornado came swooshing right out of her mouth. It made a very powerful noise when it came out of her mouth. The girl was afraid that she might be torn apart. Once it had left, she felt a real calmness inside, and she was very relieved that it was out. She asked the man, "Will it ever come back? How did you do that?" "Well, that's something that I've been doing for years," said the old man. "You must have known deep inside you that I was the one that could help you. That's why you came to me. It's very, very important when you find a tornado beginning to form within you that you remember how to let it out." The girl thanked the wise old man and went on her way. She made a decision to check every day to see if a tornado was forming inside of her, and if she found one, she quickly let it out to adults that she knew would understand how to help her. As the days passed, she felt better and better because each day she learned more about the tornado, and she liked herself in new and varied ways. She told many people about the tornado and how she had handled it, and before long she was sure that for her, tornadoes were a thing of the past. As I said before, I believe this is going to be the last installment of stories from this book, and if you're interested in the book, I'll have a link for it, at least if not on the video on the website. It's a great book to help with kids of all ages that are going through difficult times, having problems, any issues. I believe there's that childish part inside of us that I believe stories and metaphors are really good at listening or communicating with that part of us. And even if you're an adult, I think there's value in these stories. And I'll be bringing you some more from other books. And hope that they're helpful and valuable to you guys, and whether or not you decide to get the book. Anyway, I guess that's about it, and look forward to seeing you in another video, and I hope things are going well for you. Thanks for watching, and liking and subscribing and all that jazz. Till next time, you guys have a great day.